The United Kingdom is changing. An exodus is underway. Britain's families are packing up, and 2025 sees a record outflow. Welcome to Passport to Possibility with me, Kevin, here on behalf of JH Marlin Attorneys at Law. Today we explore the story behind the growing number of affluent individuals leaving Britain and what this exodus says about the current state of a fractured and uncertain nation. For generations, Britain was synonymous with fortitude, fairness and enterprise. Its hard-working people built industries, communities and character. Yet, those values have been tested by political instability, social disharmony writ large and economic strain. The echoes of a proud, industrious Britain still linger. Once Sheffield's furnaces lit the skies, symbols of strength and mastery. Stoke-on-Trent's pottery stood as monuments to skill and pride. Burnley's mills, the lifeblood of Lancashire, pulsed with purpose. Middlesbrough's blast furnaces glowed through the night until silence claimed them. Like so many British industries, production and manufacturing were outsourced, shifted, sold and shipped abroad. Whole towns hollowed out, communities left behind to crumble. Families who built Britain's prosperity watched as jobs vanished, pride dimmed, and hope drained from the streets. And while people endured, governments failed them. Leadership promised renewal, but delivered drift. Bureaucracies grew, vision shrunk. Like so many Western legacy powers, the state lost its connection to the people it was meant to serve. These aren't just workplaces, they were foundations of belonging. Their collapse marked the quiet unravelling of community fabric, the loss of purpose, identity and direction. The aftermath has been profound. Across Britain, once tight-knit communities now live in quiet separation. A growing loss of cultural identity has blurred what it means to belong. Lax immigration requirements have compounded this, failing to ask newcomers to uphold centuries-old norms and customs that once gave Britain its unique spirit. The neighbourly warmth that once defined the nation has faded. In many places, unease has replaced kinship. Shared values, once instinctive, feel at best negotiable, optional or ignored. At worst, sidelined, belittled and even ridiculed. The Office for National Statistics reports a 14% rise in crime and antisocial behaviour this year alone, a symptom of something deeper: mistrust, disconnection and identity confusion. These strains fall heaviest on the post-industrial heartlands that once embodied the British work ethic. The proud, hard-working families who built global prosperity now face social fragmentation and political neglect. Even national unity feels fragile. The 2025 Immigration White Paper concedes what many already sense: migration must pair with integration or risk the continuing erosion of cohesion. In Luton, Bradford and Oldham, once warm communities now navigate cultural tension and guarded civility. The warmth of neighbourliness has thinned into polite distance. The numbers tell their own story. In October 2025, the Financial Times, The Independent and Forbes all reported that Britain will see the largest millionaire outflow in the world, with 16,500 high net worth individuals expected to leave this year in 2025 alone. Revolut founder Nik Storonsky's departure became the symbol of a nation losing confidence. For me, someone who left 15 years ago, this isn't just data, it's personal. The Britain I knew was a nation of creativity, courage and decency. What I see now feels anxious and unanchored. The policy backdrop explains much. From scrapping the non-dom regime to tightening inheritance and gains taxes, 2025 has redrawn Britain's fiscal map. The Financial Times reported that Britain's revised non-dom tax rules and planned inheritance reforms are changing the calculus for business founders and international families alike. The Independent's Harry Robertson writes, Storonsky's move is emblematic of the uncertainty gripping London's financial elite. Sadly, wealth and optimism are leaving the UK altogether. Let's take a closer look at why. There are three major shifts that lie behind this exodus. First, capital gains tax. Since April 6, 2025, the allowance has collapsed from £12,300 to just £3,000. Property gains now attract 24%, catching even modest investors. Secondly, inheritance tax. Still at 40%, but now global in scope. Anyone resident for 10 of the past 20 years is taxed on worldwide assets with a 10-year liability after leaving. Income tax and national insurance. Employers now pay 15% national insurance on wages above £5,000, squeezing job creators and morale alike. These aren't tweaks, they're turning points. They signal a move from enablement to constraint, from optimism to suspicion of success. Every return visit reminds me of how deep this change runs. The same proud, hard-working people now carry fatigue and frustration where once there was drive. Conversations about ambition and progress have been replaced by talk of taxes, safety, and uncertainty. The Britain I remember was bold, curious, and confident. Today it feels weary, still standing, but uncertain of its place in the world. And yet opportunity is not vanished, it's simply shifted its coordinates. Britain's most mobile are moving on. Destinations like the UAE, Portugal, Switzerland and Singapore offer what many feel has been lost: clarity, security and vision. Malta, once a pillar of investment migration, closed its program on the 30th of September 2025, reminding us that possibilities are fleeting. JH Marlin ensures clients act before chance hardens into loss, protecting mobility, privacy and legacy. This story isn't only economic. It's about identity, belonging and belief in the future. The 2025 inheritance and residency laws have widened the state's reach into global assets, and further restrictions are being debated. For high net worth families and global professionals, readiness is everything. At JH Marlin, we turn foresight into freedom, crafting citizenship and residency solutions tailored to stability and peace of mind. What happens next will define generations. We've walked through an older Britain of skill, discipline and purpose, and a slow disintegration that followed as industries moved abroad, governments faltered and cultural unity faded. The UK I left 15 years ago endures in spirit, but dimly. Its buildings stand tall, but its confidence wavers. For those who wish to secure their future beyond short-term policy cycles, there is another way. At JH Marlin, foresight replaces fear, strategy restores freedom. Because your passport shouldn't merely open borders, it should open possibilities.